Urban and peri-urban agriculture is a type of agriculture that is performed within the city limits as well as those areas surrounding the cities. And it's been a growing trend that we've seen across the globe that this urban and peri-urban agriculture is increasing. And specifically for developed countries, we see it more as a type of hobby activity, community gardens, school gardens for children. But in the developing countries, we increasingly see that it's an activity that is helping the urban poor people to be able to produce their own food, to have access to better food. So the reason why urban and peri-urban agriculture is increasing, I think, is because as it has been reported that since 2007, the majority of the world population live in urban areas, and that trend is increasing at a very rapid pace. And by 2050, it is said that 70% of the world population will be in urban areas. So there is a definite need for the urban population to be fed, as well as the system, the agricultural system to support that, to be put in place. So urban and peri-urban agriculture is something that is a part that can contribute to improving the food security, food and nutrition security in the urban population. We see that globally the trend of urban and peri-urban agriculture is increasing. However, we also found that there is really not enough data on how that is increasing in various parts of the world. So this report is an attempt to really find out what is the current status of urban and peri-urban agriculture in Latin America and the Caribbean. So we've took a survey of all the member countries of FAO in the region. We've got replies from 23 countries, as well as 13 case studies that we've done on specific municipal areas and countries of the region to find out who is involved in urban peri-urban agriculture, as well as what kind of support and structure there are to support the system. A lot of people are engaged in urban peri-urban agriculture. Let's call it UPA to be short, and in the region, and specifically in the Caribbean islands, they refer to it as backyard gardening because many households do have a production in their backyards, and that is how they see it. And also in the other parts of Latin America, we find that in the peri-urban agriculture, it's actually quite a large-scale production of animal livestock production, as well as other horticultural production. So there are different types of agriculture that are urban peri-urban agriculture that are performed in the region. And we also found that 40% of Cubans are involved in UPA, and also over 8,000 households are involved in UPA in Bogota, for example. It is definitely a growing trend in the region. And going back to the livestock production, we also see the importance of looking at this in a policy framework because of the implications to the environment from these productions, not just livestock, of course, horticultural production as well, that the sustainable production aspect is very important. So we found out from the survey that we took from the 23 countries that out of those 23, only 12 of them had a national policy on UPA. Now, this is also a trend that is growing, and more countries are more interested in implementing UPA, so developing national policies. For example, Bolivia is a country that FAO has been assisting to develop a national policy on UPA. Another trend that we are seeing is that a lot of the local governments, the municipal governments, and the sub-national regional governments are responsible for a lot of these programs, and at that local level, policy is in place in some of the countries. For example, in Colombia, in Brazil, a lot of the municipal governments have a policy that support UPA through their food security program. So we found that a lot of the countries, municipalities who are engaged in UPA or backyard gardening are very much committed to growing safer or fresh produce for their urban citizens, which is also an important aspect of UPA because of the physical conditions of UPA being performed within or surrounding the city areas and the density of the cities. It is very important that that the pesticide and chemical toxicity do not contaminate the environment. So many of the cities have, for example, Cuba has a ban on pesticide use in UPA, and most of the region they call it agroecological production. Some of them are organic, not necessarily certified in the international sense of the word. However, most of them are organically produced and provide a healthy, fresh diet for the citizens.